Hey everyone, welcome back to another episode of the Always Improving Garage. In this one, we're going to be talking about soldering. Soldering is something I hear a lot of people say that they can't do, so I'm going to show you guys how I solder, and we're going to go over this step by step. So here I just have some old crappy wire that I had laying around. I think it's 18 gauge, doesn't really say anything though, so we're going to use that. So I'm going to strip back about that much wire, twist the end, all right, and then you're going to need some heat shrink tubing. You're going to want to put that on first before you put the two wires together. And then what we're going to do is we're going to take these, kind of make like an X with them like that. And then we're going to put those two together like this. Okay. I normally don't use these. I think they call them helping hands, but just for demonstration purposes, we're going to use this. So, like so. We're going to use the Milwaukee soldering iron. And I got the flat tip on here. So as soon as that's solid green, it'll be ready. And here's the solder we're going to use. This is some thin solder. I'll leave a link to all this in the description. Okay, soldering iron is warmed up. So what we're going to do, we're going to tin the tip here. Just kind of get this ready. Okay, now what you want to do is hold this under the wire for a couple seconds, warm it up, and then you're just going to kind of feed the solder in. Like so. Okay, and it's soldered. I'm going to give this just a moment to cool down because you don't want to slide your heat shrink tubing over right away while the wire is still warm. As obvious as that may seem, it's kind of just instinct, I think, to just go ahead and put it on right away. So make sure you cool it down, because what will happen a lot of the times is the heat shrink will kind of melt down right here. Like the end will be like right there. Happens all the time. So make sure you just give it a moment to cool down. So should be good now. So we're going to slide this over, get it centered as best as you can. And we're just going to use a lighter here on the heat shrink tubing. Okay, and we are done. We have soldered, no sweat. Now, say if you were moving the heat shrink tubing over and it melted right there and you don't have that much wire left to work with to where you can resolder it, your best bet would probably just be to get some electrical tape at that point, and make sure you use the good stuff. Don't go getting your electrical tape from Harbor Freight. Trust me, it's not good enough. I made that mistake in the past. You want to get this Scotch Super 33 Plus and use that to protect the wire. So if you wanted to, you could even put it over the heat shrink tubing, I suppose. All right. So either way, heat shrink tubing or heat shrink tubing with electrical tape over it, in my opinion, who cares? It's more protected that way. Sometimes the little strands of the copper from the wire like to poke through the heat shrink tubing as well. I wanted to point that out. So before you go and solder, or even after, if you have those little bit of strands that are sticking out, make sure you cut those, because eventually that'll lead to problems if you don't. Okay, so that's going to do it for this one, guys. Hope it helps somebody out there. As always, thanks for watching.